Hello my 7 deadly sins, family and friends, welcome back to another video. Unfortunately I haven't got access to my P5 Meliodas Ultimate account, but I should have access to that tomorrow. But a lot of people agreed and thought it would be a bit of fun to see if Guila could 3-star this sector. So that's what we're going to do today. But before that, I did say that I would be announcing a giveaway this video, and I will do that now. So because we've hit 1,000 subscribers, once again, thank you so much for all your support. It really does mean the world to me. But because of that, I wanted to give back to you a little something, a little thank you for your support. So at 500 subscribers, we gave away 3 supply carts. We've hit 1,000. So this time we're going to give away 1 Hawk Pass and 2 supply carts. Now, how do you enter? Well, you're going to need to comment and have the hashtag giveaway within the comment, but specifically about something. I am going to hide images of this silly goose throughout the video. They could be big or small, but they're going to be throughout this video. I'm going to hide them throughout, and you have to count up how many you see throughout the video and have that within your comment. So you can do your normal comments as usual, but to be put within the giveaway, let me know how many of these you see, and then hashtag giveaway. And then in 7 days time, I will come back and I'll go to a random comment picker. I will search for hashtag giveaway with the correct number for the Hawk Pass. And then if you guess the correct number and you were randomly chosen with the random comment picker, you will be the winner of the Hawk Pass. Now for the other 2, it doesn't matter if you guess the correct amount or not, just give it a whirl, hashtag giveaway, and then you'll be in a chance for the supply carts. So just a little bit of fun whilst you're watching the video, and I thought it could be a little fun idea. But yeah, that's basically the giveaway. Hopefully that is understandable for you. I'll have a pop-up on the screen near the end as a recap of how you can be put in for the giveaway. But now, from this time forward, any silly gooses you see, that's when we start the count, okay? So, yeah. So, Guila, this is the team we're going to run. If I get out of here, we're going to run this team. We've got Hauser for the crit defense down because someone requested not to run Daisy, so no Daisy run. And with the nunchucks, with his engraved gear. Now, if you don't know, his engraved gear, Secure Adventure, when you use a special attack or land the special attack, it reduces crit defense between 40 and 60% depending on the level. And the reason why we're running the nunchucks is because on this skill it gives you 666 magic gauge, which is a lot. It allows us to be able to ult a lot, and that gives us our damage basically. Now I am running Merlin with her bursting staff. Now you do not need P10 Merlin, but the potential that helps out the most is probably P6. P7 also helps a little bit as well. So you do not need P10, it's mainly P6 and a bit of P7 as well. But on top of that, we are not using her free ultimate. So basically we're not really getting any damage from her at all. And I'll tell you why we don't want to actually burst with her, but just fill it up enough. Well, of course we're running Elizabeth. We're running Elizabeth because she gives wonderful buffs, wonderful debuffs, just to really boost up our damage. Yes, mine is P10. This is not a showcase of how to do it if you've got low potential units. It's just a bit of a fun showcase to see if Guila can accomplish a 3-star. So for Guila, because this is the main reason why we're doing it, obviously she's got a lot of attack because of Elizabeth, but let's have a look at her weapons. For her sub-weapons, we want as much equipment attack as possible. So we've got an SR Max Limit Break Sword and Shield with equipment attack. I'm running a 3-star Gluttonous Sword Rapier Sword. That's only because I do not have... that's only because I do not have a level 50 6-star up and ready. None of these are ready with the 800 equipment attack just yet. So losing about 400 equipment attack means I'm losing about 125 attack in total. Not the end of the world. As for her lance, we are using her Black Flame Wings lance because the majority of damage comes from her normal skill damage, not normal attack, normal skill damage. Just like Merlin Lightning and Meliodas Longsword and Elaine and her wand. So all for normal skill damage. Unfortunately, I didn't have the best luck with enchants, so I used about 20 fire beads, and this is the best I got, with max crit damage, the lowest percentage of normal skill damage with fire burst, especially ultimate move damage. Now, ultimate move damage is completely useless. This does literally nothing. It is a dead stat. Even if you have the lowest percentage or max percentage, it's just a dead stat. It does nothing for Lance Guila. Fire burst efficiency is pretty much useless as well, but it allows us to basically last hit the fire burst bar to get us a fire burst, so that we get that extra attack and crit chance. But yeah, really we wanted some fire damage on top of this and fire attack with a more higher percentage of normal skill damage. We really don't need crit chance, and I'll let you know why in a second. But crit chance is important. So have a quick look at her kit. She gains impulse for 30 seconds each attack. So that's any attack, skill, whatever, right? And that goes up to 10 stacks. Each stack of this gives you 3% crit chance whilst in demon form. And this is where we're going to get all her damage, basically. If the hero has maximum stacks, the normal skill cooldown decreases by 1 second when attacking enemy with fire burst. So this is the first reason why we want fire burst, because it reduces her normal skill cooldown, right? And that's her main damage source. So her special skill does a little bit of damage, but it gives you 2 impulse stacks, which is really nice. That allows us to get to that 10 a lot quicker. We'll come back to the demon form in a second. Her normal skill does a good chunk of damage and then gains 2 impulse stacks. So that's 4 in total out of the 10 we need. And then her ultimate brings her into demon form. That's all it does. That's it. Nothing else, right? It does only cost 2, which is quite nice, but has a long cooldown. Now let's have a look at this. So if you're in demon form, it does a little bit more damage with your special attack, but it decreases the normal skill cooldown by 50% when landing a critical hit. And we'll come back to the critical hit in a second. And then if you use her normal skill, this is her big damaging skill, it does nearly 300% of attack, but when attacking an enemy with fire burst, your damage is increased by 30%. So this doesn't mean it's going to be 300%. It means the overall damage that you do is increased by 30%. So this is really, really nice and really important. So as I said, we're not going to be fully bursting with Merlin. We're going to get there about 90% of the way, and then we're going to tag in. We're going to burst with Lance Guila, and then we're going to get the attack of 34% and 10% of crit chance. Let's have a quick look at her armor. So we're using obviously the armor for her lance to increase her damage. I got a 124 and a level 2, which is not too bad. It gives us a nice amount of normal skill damage and a good chunk of crit chance. But I got terrible rolls with only attack percent increase. That is useful. If you got crit damage and normal skill damage, instead of any of these 3 rolls, it'll be so much better. But she gets a lot of normal skill damage just from her Holy Knight engraving gear, right? So it increases buff duration by 3.5% each time impulse is gained. So you can get 10 stacks of this, right? So you can get not too bad. It means your buff's going to last longer. Using the ultimate move increases normal skill damage by 12.5% for each buff duration boost stacked up. So basically, before you ultimate, you want to get all 10 impulse stacks, so then you get all buff durations to get that 125% normal skill damage boost, which is nuts. Now, the reason why I'm running the raid set over a normal skill set, which is this set here, this setup here, is because we're in the Timespace Junction. Now, again, I'll go over what Defense Shatter does, because this is the main reason that we're running the Greed of Ruler set, because of the Defense Shatter that it gives. So, each 1% of Defense Shatter above the enemy's Shatter resistance is about an extra 3% damage boost-ish. There's a bit of fluctuation there, and depending on what else you've got, like defense reduction or crit defense reduction, etc., it can change slightly. but as an overall thought, 3% is a good, just in your mind, okay, this is how much it could probably increase it by. So because of that, and because we're in Timespace Junction, we already get a flat 20%, which negates the boss's 20% shatter resistance. Whatever percentage defense shatter we get from her gear now is an extra 3% per 1% on top. So let's have a quick calculation. We're going to get 10% just from the 7 piece. We're going to get an extra 12% when you do the double tag, so that's 22%. And then on the ring, I've got 7%, right? So that's 29%. Let's round up to 30 just for a quick math calculation. That gives us a bonus 90% damage once we've done the double tag. Plus we get a nice amount of crit chance. That's a 20% crit chance buff and a 15% crit damage buff. Plus a lot of equipment attack. So it's very, very good for Timespace Junction, or the units that are buffed, and Guila is buffed. Now we've seen all this, and we can look at her stats. She's got 66% crit chance, right? But remember, when she goes into her demon form and with her passive, she's going to get 30% crit chance. So that's going to be 96%. And then the black flame thing, that's another 10%. So she's gone above the 100% crit chance threshold, which means with this, you're going to always land a crit if you get your impulse stacks to max. And then you're going to reduce the normal skill cooldown by 50%, which basically means you're going to reset it. And the reason why it says it basically means you're going to reset it is because at P5, it reduces the normal skill cooldown by 7.5 seconds. And it's a 15-second cooldown, so 50% of 15 seconds is 7.5, plus this, that's 100% cooldown, right? Now P6, P7, and P9 do increase the damage marginally. It's not that much, that's 40, and that's another 40, but so about maybe get about 90% boosted damage in total, which is a decent amount. I'm not gonna lie, it is a decent amount, but if you had a max one of these, that's probably going to help a lot. And then changing this for a bit more equipment attack, if you rolled better on this with fire damage and normal skill damage, that's going to help a lot that I'm missing. And again, normal skill damage and crit damage, that's going to help a lot that I'm missing. Plus if you have a level 3, again, this is not a guide how to do it as Guila if this is only who you've got, because I've got quite high potential, but for a bit of fun. So now that's all gone over with how Guila works and everything, and what we want to do, you'll probably see my showcase here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Hauser. I'm going to bring them together, use his skills, then I'm going to switch into Merlin to get them nearly to being bursted. I'm going to switch to Guila to then burst them. I'm going to switch to Elizabeth to debuff them. I'm going to switch back to Guila. I'm going to ultimate and then going to nuke. That's basically the rotation you want to do. So yeah, without further ado, here's the run. When you start, aim for this spike here. Now I want to jump dash over to here. In doing so, we'll be able to group the golems and first strike them. Enjoy the rest of the run listening to my newest song, Perfect Cube.
Merlin. Perfect cube. Step into the room, every eye on cue. Crimson lips, black dress, giving deja vu. Cast one glance, now you're hypnotized. Reading every room behind my eyes. They call it defense, I call it art. Every spell, history to the heart. Look too long and you're bound to lose. Trapped before the perfect cube. Hands off, don't rush. One little spell and you're out of luck. Think you're brave, better think it through. No one's breaking the perfect cube. Cube, cube, perfect cube. Everybody looking, got nothing to prove. Eyes on me, better think twice. Magic so cold, but the curve so nice. Cube, cube, perfect cube. No way in unless I say move. Spellbound, frozen, breaking the rules. Welcome to my perfect cube. Perfect, lock up, worth it. Can't touch, can't lose. Merlin got that perfect cube. Double take, now you're seeing two. Funny what a little magic will do. Some see one, some swear there's two. Guess they see my perfect cubes. They came from magic state for the view. That's just what my perfect cube can do. Cube, cube, perfect cube. Everybody looking, got nothing to prove. Eyes on me, better think twice. Magic so cold, but the curve so nice. Cube, cube, perfect cube. No way in unless I say move. Spellbound, frozen, breaking the rules. Welcome to my perfect cube. One more look, now you're spellbound too. Merlin, perfect cube. Merlin, perfect cube. Step into the room, every eye on cue. Crimson lips, black dress, giving deja vu. Cast one glance, now you're hypnotized. Reading every room behind my eyes.
So there you go. It took me a lot of tries. As you all must know by now, this sector is probably the most RNG sector that they have ever created. It requires such high amounts of RNG, so then they don't keep spawning the healing crystals, and then they do spawn the purple crystals mainly, as well as the orange ones. And then not only of that, you're able to aim those crystals to hit the bosses. And then on top of all that RNG in itself, you need to make it so they are staying together, which is tough because they're stupid sometimes and they want to do really far range attacks when you're not even really far away. And then sometimes they'll just go off randomly to the middle. I'm not sure if it's time based or health based, but sometimes it was a lot sooner than before. So it's so RNG based. So if you're really, really lucky, I am pretty much certain even P4 units can clear this 3-star. I've seen a Sword and Shield Escanor do it. I've seen an Axe Escanor do it from other creators. So I definitely know it's possible. As for a Meliodas, don't worry, I will be bringing one of those out very, very soon. But yeah, it's possible, right? We cleared it 3 stars with Guila. That was pretty cool. It nearly made me want to break my computer how frustrating it was with the RNG. But I was quite impressed. When they had all those defense reductions down, it seemed like she did a decent amount of damage, and you could keep resetting her ability and nuking over and over again, which was quite nice. Sometimes it didn't work because I didn't have the full impulse stacks for me to have a 100% crit chance, but still, this was the first time I actually used DPS Guila, so it was actually quite a lot of fun for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it and thought it was fun too. But yeah, that's that. I'm pretty sure when I'm editing this, I will actually give some tips of how I group the golems together. Pretty much 95% of the time it works, if not higher. From what I did, going to a certain point, when I break through the circle and then jumping to a certain point, it seemed like pretty much all the time they were grouped together at that point. So hopefully that tip helps, even if you aren't looking to see about Guila. So yeah, that's it. I hope you have really enjoyed this video. Even though it was frustrating, it was a lot of fun to play Guila. Hopefully you have enjoyed looking out for the Silly Gooses. But yeah, here's the rules. I'm putting it on the screen now. Make sure that you have counted the amount of Silly Goose throughout the video. The video hasn't ended yet, just so you know. Comment the amount you've seen and do hashtag giveaway. But yeah, with that being said, if you have enjoyed this, do consider liking and subscribing. I would really appreciate it. I do so much appreciate your support. And then until my next video, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And until then, cheerio! Honk!